Welcome to the new episode of BCD Tech. In this episode, I will show you the teardown video of Samsung Galaxy Trend. I am Dr. BC and you are watching BCD Tech. This is my Samsung Galaxy Trend recently purchased from Samsung India. For my previous video on this unboxing of this phone, please click on the link flashing on your screen. Now in this video I will show you the teardown of this phone. For teardown this you need a specific tools like a Phillips screwdriver, a flat face tweezer, a sharp face tweezer, a plastic tool that is flat plastic tool, or a sharp plastic tool. Now I will show you how to open this Samsung Galaxy Trend. For that you have to take out this back cover. There is a small notch on the right of this phone. Just press the back cover from that notch and this back cover is nicely take out from your phone. Now take out this battery. Now as you can see that there are total 8 number of screws on this back panel. You have to unscrew all of this screw. For skipping this unscrew session, please click on the link flashing on your screen. Now I have unscrewed all of these 8 screws. Please make sure that all of these 8 screws are unscrewed properly. Now to remove this back panel from this LCD, you have to either use your fingernail or you can use a plastic tool, like I am using this sharp plastic tool to separate this back bezel from this LCD panel. Now press this plastic tool toward all of this side of this phone. Now as you can see that this back bezel is now gets separating from this LCD. Now it is separated from the bottom of this phone. Now as you can see that it is quite easy to separate this back bezel from this LCD frame. Now I have to remove this LCD from this back bezel. Now as you can see that it is now not separated from the top of the phone. Now let's check if there is any plastic lock which is stopping this top portion. Now I will put this sharp plastic tool so that it can move towards the top edge of this phone. Now this LCD is now get separated from this back bezel. So in this way you can easily separate this back bezel from your LCD frame. Now on this back bezel you can see that there are a couple of sensors or couple of antennas. That this is a main speaker. As you can say that it is a main speaker. To take out this speaker, use a sharp tool and lift this speaker from your back bezel. Now this is your main speaker. Now to separate this vibrator motor, you have to separate from this vibrator end. Put the sharp tool inside this vibrator and gently lift this vibrator from this back bezel. Be careful in this PCB portion. Now this is a main vibrator motor. Now on the bottom you will find the 3G antenna. Now I will show you how to take out this antenna from this back bezel. Use your sharp tool to now check from all of this side. There is certain notch which can be used to separate. Now it is separated. It is separated from this end. Just you put your sharp tool from this end and this 3G antenna is get separated from your back bezel. This is your 3G antenna of this Samsung Galaxy Trend. Now nothing more on this plastic tool. On this back panel you can find a Wi-Fi antenna. This is your main Wi-Fi antenna on your back bezel. Now let's take this apart. Now as you can see that this is your main motherboard that is attached to your LCD frame. Now to separate this motherboard you have to lift this ribbon connector. Gently lift this ribbon connector and then you can see that there is you have to lift off this receiver speaker also to take out this motherboard from your LCD frame. Now this motherboard is get separated. As you can see that on the front of this motherboard there is a shelving, that is your main shelving. This is your main home button. Now you can unscrew this 3 screw to separate out this metal frame from the motherboard. As you can see that on the back of this motherboard it is well shielded itself. There is no component, only there is a ground shielding on this back side. Now I have unscrewed this 3 screw. Now gently lift this metal frame from this motherboard. This is your metal frame. Now take this apart. Now I will show you the motherboard of this Samsung Galaxy Trend. As you can see that this is general motherboard. On this motherboard you find a various of portions. This is your rear camera, 3 megapixel rear camera. This is front speaker. This is your 3.5 mm headphone jack. This is SD slot, that is the main inverter. This is a camera, 3.5 mm headphone socket. Now I will show you one by one all of this part. This is inverter circuit. Now this is 2 SIM tray, main processor, memory, battery connector, a radio RF part, radio part, application processor with Samsung memory, power management IC. Now I will try to take out this camera from this motherboard. For that you have to use a sharp plastic tool to separate this camera from your motherboard. Now be careful while separating this camera from your main motherboard. You can also use a sharp tweezer and just try to lift this camera from your main motherboard. As you can see that this camera is protected or attached to your motherboard by a metal hook. You have to press this metal hook so that the camera can be gently lift upward. Now I have pressed all of this metal stopper. Now it's time to pull this camera out from this housing. Now as you can see that this camera is now lifting up. I think this metal lock is blocking the bottom side of this camera. Now just use your sharp tweezer to lift this camera from its metal jack. As you can see that the camera is now lifting up from the top part. I will use my plastic tool to lift this camera from its metal jack holder. Now this camera is now separated from this metal jack. Now this is separated out. Now this is your 3 megapixel rear camera. Now I will show you the number on this camera. As you can see that it is a KYLE_VE, that is has 32 pins. This is your main 3 megapixel rear camera of this Samsung Galaxy Trend. Now take this apart for a while. Now I will show you what is rest on this motherboard. That is your sound portion, camera portion, the front speaker portion, that is your main speaker output, that is a main speaker output. Here you can see that the main speaker is attached. This is Wi-Fi connector point. This is volume up and down button. This is 2 SIM tray. This is your DC inverter. This small portion, let's see what is inside this portion. Now I will try to read out the IC number. Increase the zoom so that it doesn't go out of focus. Now as you can see that the IC is from Broadcom. Now I will try to read the number of this IC. It is very difficult to read in such a drastic condition because this IC is too small. This IC is BCM 4752. I will try, that is 21U876. Now this IC has no number. Now this IC is from Broadcom. It is BCM. I will show you. It is BCM 4330LB2KLOG. Now I will show you the radio portion. Again that is Broadcom IC BCM 2093A2. That again Broadcom RF, no, that is not Broadcom RF 7849, that is RF 9831A. This is your main antenna socket, external antenna port. Now this is 175MY. This is your main microphone, and you can see that here USB data syncing port. Now I will show you the application processor. It is again from Broadcom. The main CPU is from Broadcom. It is a 2166 4A01F086. it is a Broadcom CPU. The memory is from Samsung, it is KMN5U00ZM. Again, this power management is from Broadcom, BCM5 something, it is BCM59054 series IC. Nothing more on this board. So this motherboard is divided into various sections. As you can see that this is your RF section, that is your power inverter, camera, application processor, memory and power management section. So you can find the various section on this motherboard. On the front there is only a hardware button, and that the whole thing is shielded on the front of this motherboard. This is main receiver speaker that is shouldered to your main motherboard. Now this is your main motherboard of this Samsung Galaxy Trend. Now I will show you the LCD frame of this Galaxy Trend. As you can see that this LCD frame is very nice. It is looking a very premium. Now to separate this LCD glass, you have to apply heat and gently press from this side to take out the glass from this LCD frame. I will show you the IC on this LCD frame. As you can see that the display inverter is from images. I will again zoom in so that I can read out. It is IST30328. it is images IC, that is IST 30328. This is the model number of this LCD frame. Now this IC is 5186. This is your speaker, receiver speakers cutout. Nothing more on this LCD frame. As you can see that there is a home button. Now you can gently lift this home button. For that you have to unplug it from these two plastic hooks. As you can see that this home button is separated out from this LCD frame. Nice look this home button. Now this is your main microphone gasket. It can be gently lifted up with the help of smart tweezer or a plastic tool. Now as you can see that this glass is fixed with your frame by certain optical epoxy, so it is very difficult to separate this glass from this LCD frame. For that you have to apply certain heat so that this epoxy can be loose or make this epoxy softer so that the glass can be separated out from this LCD frame. If I try some pressure on this glass, let's see what's happened. No, it is epoxied to your plastic frame, so it is very difficult to separate this without heat. In the incoming parts of this video I will show you how to replace this glass. Now let's see what is the model number, that is GS7392, GS75861. all of these models has the same this glass frame. Now nothing more on this glass frame. If you see the build quality of this glass frame, it is very premium. You will feel a very solid touch with this glass frame. Now I will show you all of this part that has been teared down from this Samsung Galaxy Trend. Let's zoom out so that I will show you all of this part that I have teared down from this Samsung Galaxy Trend. As you can see that totally it has a back cover with couple of screws, main battery. Let's see what is the battery. It is 1500 milliampere battery. This is your rear camera, vibrator motor, 3G antenna, back panel, that is your main speaker, home key, metal frame, main motherboard, LCD frame. So this is your complete parts that has been teared down from the Samsung Galaxy 10. Now in the next part I will show you how to reassemble this phone. Reassembling this phone, first of all I have to take this LCD frame and put this home button back. Now this home button is very symmetrical, you can put in any either way to your Galaxy Trend, that is a LCD frame. Now just make sure that this home button is pressing well. Now next thing is to put this camera back to your motherboard. Just see the cutout of this camera, you have to place according to that cutout and then press this camera back to your main motherboard. Now this camera is back to your main motherboard. Now the time comes to place this metal frame back to your motherboard. Now be sure that all of this metal frame is quite aligned with your motherboard, and now place the 3 screw back to the board so that it can tight this metal frame to your main board. That is final screw is at this position. Now metal frame is attached to your motherboard. Now it's time to put this motherboard back to your LCD frame. Now place this motherboard. Once you happy with the placement, now push this ribbon connector back to your main board. Now this LCD frame is this is your main microphone. Now this is properly attached with your microphone gasket. Now it's time to comes to place the parts back to your back bezel. Now first of all put this 3G antenna back to your back bezel. Make sure this cutouts align properly with your back bezel. Once you happy with the ending, press this 3G antenna back to your phone. Now it's time to place this vibrator motor back to your back bezel. Now just first align this PCB to your back bezel and then press this vibrator motor back to your back bezel. Now press this PCB so that it can be stitched well to your back bezel. Now it's time to put the main speaker. Where is main speaker? Now I have to put this main speaker back to your back bezel. Make sure that this pinouts goes in upward direction. Now this is your back bezel. Now put the LCD frame back to your back bezel. Make sure that all of this alignment is proper. Now press this LCD frame gently to your back bezel. Once you are happy with that sitting, now it's time to put all of these screws back to your back panel. You can skip this screwing portion by clicking on the link flashing on your screen. Now I have screwed all this screw back to your phone. Now put this battery back to your phone and then this back cover back to your phone. Now press this back cover gently so that it can be placed well on your main phone. Now it's time to turn on this phone. Press this turn on button and here you can see the Galaxy Y Trend logo. So this completes your disassembly, assembly, teardown and parts view of the Samsung Galaxy Trend. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. The subscription link is shown on your screen. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.